You could lose tens of thousands of dollars if you don't follow these important steps. Many people dream of their apartment or their house because it's close to the sea, because the weather is nice, because the cost of living is not that high. But in the end, when you jump to acquiring your property in Thailand, it gets overwhelming. What are the risks? Can foreigners own property in Thailand? Are there any pitfalls? How not to lose your money? Who will manage your property when you're away? And this list goes on. Hi everyone, I'm Artem, a co-founder of Insight Estate, where we help people invest in Thai properties with confidence. Our team of founders has several dozens years of experience in real estate, including in Asia. In this 5-step video, I will show you how to buy your first property in Thailand easily and safely. First of all, define your strategy. Why are you buying? Why do you want to invest in real estate in Thailand? Do you want to live in this apartment or house yourself? Is it purely an investment and you want a hands-off experience with someone managing your property? Or do you want to use it once or twice a year? What happens to the property when you're away? So those are the questions you need to answer before you start looking for a perfect property. Why are you buying? When you know your strategy, next question is what to buy. It could be an apartment, a small apartment, a big apartment, several apartments. It could be a house or several houses. So what should you choose? Well, again, it depends on your strategy. As for statistics, in the first 6 months of 2025, there are several thousands apartments sold to foreigners and hundreds of villas sold to foreigners. So apartments are, of course, a much more popular choice. In Phuket alone, in 6 months, there were more than 2,000 transactions for apartments on the island. And that's just one island, not the biggest one. So we see a rising trend of popularity, and more foreigners are coming into the Thai market to acquire properties here. So what's the difference in costs? I would say that houses are naturally much more expensive than condos. So apartments start from around 65,000 US dollars for a nice small studio and go up to hundreds of thousands of dollars per unit. For the villas, I would say that the ballpark is around $300,000. That's a good house, a big one in a decent location with nice investment potential. So buying villa versus buying an apartment is a totally different beast. It's not that straightforward. It could be done, of course, but for the purpose of this particular video, we will focus on apartments specifically. We defined our strategy as a step number 1. The second big question is the legal part of the story. Is it legally possible to acquire a property in Thailand as a foreigner? There is a very simple answer to the question. Yes, you can buy, own, inherit property in Thailand, especially when it comes to apartments. There are certain restrictions on the land, but again, land is concerned when we're speaking about acquiring a house, a villa. That's where land comes into play. But for apartments, it's out of the question, and there are no restrictions on owning the apartment. The only thing we need to have in mind that foreigners can own only 49% of the certain project or the certain development. So for example, if there is a building, a condominium with 100 units, let's just imagine they're all the same size, foreigners can own maximum 49 of those 100 units. That's the only restriction that we have. But again, for you as a buyer, it's not a concern because the developer and the seller is taking care of calculating all the numbers, all the percentages. And if they sell to you as a foreigner, you're on the safe side. They did all the due diligence, all the calculations, and you should be fine. Guys, as you can see, the process might seem straightforward, but there are certain pitfalls and certain complexities. Ownership, freehold, leasehold ownership, mortgages for foreigners, all the paperwork, inheritance laws. So there are certain procedures you need to be aware. If you don't want to lose your money choosing the wrong property, make sure to subscribe to the channel and also like this video so the YouTube magical algorithms will help investors just like you around the globe to see this video. Thank you. Next topic is location and budget. So for the budget, I think you can figure out yourself. I'm not sure how much money you have to invest. But for the location, again, it depends on your strategy. If we take Thailand, I would say that there is a lot of possibilities to invest. Some are very popular, some are less visible, but interesting. But you need to understand why are you investing and what's your exit strategy. So for example, Bangkok. Bangkok is a nice option. It's a capital city, a buzzing city, one of the top destinations in Asia, and actually top 1 destination in the world in 2024. So buying in here, you can enjoy the ever-growing flow of people coming to Bangkok, and you can easily rent out a nice property of yours on a long-term or mid-term contract. And also you will have quite a higher liquidity on the market, on the secondary market. So if you want to sell, it will be easier just because the market is huge and the demand for properties is also huge. If we take Phuket, for example, this is again a tropical island, right? And a lot of tourists are coming here. So properties are a little bit different. So usually it's a hotel managed condominium. So you buy not an apartment per se, but rather a hotel room. Even if it has a kitchen or a few bedrooms, it's still a hotel room managed by Radisson, Ramada or Marriott. And you will enjoy 100% passive income because your management company will take care of everything, right? From check-ins to check-outs and all the financial flows, all the transactions, and etc., etc. And most importantly, they most likely will rent it out on a daily basis, not on a monthly contract or a yearly contract. And naturally, if you rent out on a daily basis, your daily rate goes up compared to a yearly rate per night. So your returns might be higher versus long-term rentals in Bangkok. So how to understand whether the project is good or bad? First, you might talk to a local professional who knows the island or the location upside down. Pay attention to the developer who is building the property, whether they have other projects completed, whether it's a Thai company or non-Thai company, whether it's a public company. All these factors might influence the risk of your investment. If it's a Thai public company that has been around for decades, that most likely means that you're in a very, very safe hands and you will not waste your money. The project will be completed and everything will work just fine. If you are looking to properties outside this scenario, the risks might be higher, but also the returns tend to be higher. So this is always a balance between your risk appetite and your returns that you get from the property. So don't forget to consult the local professionals. For example, in our company, we score each property development, each project based on almost 200 criteria across 4 main pillars: investment potential, investment safety, location, and quality of life. So if you want to explore your investment opportunities in more details, there is a link in the description. Don't hesitate to click on it. So are there any hidden risks? Well, of course there are, unfortunately. So first of all, it's information that is not easily accessible to everyone. For example, whether the developer has all the documents for the land, whether they have passed the ecological expertise, whether they have money to complete the project. To be frank, you can't evaluate it on your own, so you need someone to consult with on this one. Second point, that all developers, of course, love their babies, right? So the projects are like babies for them. They think that this is the best project, and they might be too optimistic in terms of first timings and second your returns, right? So when you are speaking to a developer, just take all the promises with a pinch of salt. So next up are legal issues. I get a lot of questions from people. Do I really need an agent, and can I buy on my own? Well, of course you can do it on your own, but having a trusted broker locally just makes your life so much easier. We already discussed all this legal and paperwork nightmare, that's first. And second, having a real estate agent doesn't bear any costs on your side. So there is no buyer side commission, and usually the whole commission is being paid by the developer. So you don't have any extra costs. At the same time, if the broker is a professional, he knows the developers, and probably he sells a lot, you might be able to get a great deal through the real estate agent just because he sells dozens of apartments in a certain project. The developer is eager to work with this person, and he just supplies great deals to his or her clients. So you might get a better deal if you work with a real estate agent and not directly with the developer. The big question here is how to choose a trusted broker in the market you know no one. So I would say that first, you can check the online presence of this brokerage firm, like website, first and foremost, maybe Instagram, YouTube channel, whatever it is. Second, ask people who already did due diligence or bought something on the market. They might be able, again, to supply you with their recommendation, with the recommended trusted person they worked with. And the third point is talk to your local broker. For example, you live in Sydney and you have a real estate agent whom you know and whom you trust on the Sydney market. Ask him for his or her partners in a certain area. So just give them a call and ask whether they can connect you with someone who knows a thing about Phuket or Bangkok. And usually the broker community is quite connected internationally, and you will be able to get good directions and good contacts from your already trusted partner in real estate. Pro tip: if you work with a real estate agent, it's like a one-stop shop. So you don't need to be looking for a lawyer or for a banking specialist or for some taxation specialist. Usually real estate agents can supply you with the whole bunch of professionals who can help you figure out your additional questions. For example, we at Inside Estate, we provide the end-to-end management of the buying process, just from interest and trying to figure out your strategy up to the last mile and signing all the papers together with you and the developer. So if you're interested, you define your strategy. You find the perfect unit or the perfect apartment, villa, whatever it is. Now the question is how to actually acquire it. This is the easiest part, actually. Usually your broker helps you to put together a contract with the developer, and it's being signed by two parties, by the developer and yourself. That's one. Second, you agree on the financial plan or the payment plan, because mortgages for foreigners in Thailand are almost non-existent or close to impossibility. So all the developers, or majority of the developers, can give you a chance to pay in installments. You will need the down payment, usually around 30%, and the rest 70%. is being paid until the handover date, right? So it's kind of the alternative to the normal mortgage. And then when you have the contract in place and the payment plan agreed between two parties, you just transfer money and you can pay with bank wire, or you can pay by card, or all the normal payment methods are available for buyers in Thailand. Pro tip, you can own the property directly in your name. There is no requirements for opening a Thai entity or any kind of the legal structure. You can buy just as a person, and the title deed will have your name on it and the exact unit that you've chosen. The important thing to mention, you don't need to come to Thailand to do all of this. This is perfectly manageable online, from choosing the property to reserving the property to signing the contract and to sending money, and also to getting all the papers when the project is completed. It doesn't require you to come to Thailand. Of course, if you want, you can do that, but it's perfectly manageable online. 70–80% of property acquisitions are done right now 100% online. So everything went smoothly, I hope. You get the keys to your new apartment. What comes next? This depends on your strategy, again and again. So if you want to live there, you just start living there. And usually all apartments are coming completed with furniture and kitchenware and everything you need to live. So it's ready to move in. If you want to rent it out, you either give the keys to the management company, to the centralized management company who will take care of everything, or you can rent out through a local partner or a local agent, wherever you prefer. This is roughly it. This is how the process of buying real estate in Thailand looks like. As said, we at Insight Estate might be able to help you go through this process painlessly and as smoothly as possible. So if you're interested, all links are in the description. Don't forget to check those videos about life in Thailand, and I'll see you in the next one.